So I give a lot of thought actually to what is helpful to clients. I reflect on my work with people, whether they're therapy clients, coaching students, people in my program, whatever it is, and how can I help them get the results they want? How can I do this in my own life? And as a student of this, as I am studying therapy modalities and learning about NLP and learning about the law of attraction, I mean, almost anything I can think of, trying to figure out where is this sweet spot? How do we move towards what we want? And especially for me, in the context of working with couples, how do I help couples get to where they want in a relationship? Now, one of the things I've talked about in numerous formats is the power of our thoughts. Things happen, and our brain filters that, first of all, and then interprets that. So, as we are living our life, we are in a bit of an abstraction or a subset of reality. And we are reacting not to actual reality, but our interpretation of it, our experience of it, which is often not accurate. It is filled in with meaning from what we have learned, how we've been raised, the kinds of experiences that we have had, and then the way that we have continued to interpret things the same way. So it becomes confirming evidence of our model of the world in our brain. And often in therapy, couples come in. Well, I mean, it's not just that, it's all of us. We get really attached to these stories. It's really hard to see the difference between how we are interpreting what's going on and what might actually be going on. Our brain is very convincing. So we believe our stuff. We believe this model of the world. We don't think to question it. So where a lot of people will get stuck is we just dive further and further into these stories, and we want to explain them, and we want to talk about why it feels so bad and all the reasons it can't get better and all the things we're up against and why we are so stuck here and how bad it is, and often how much of it is our partner's fault or what someone else is doing that is leaving us feeling the way we're feeling. And I'm just coming to see more and more how inaccurate that is, and especially how disempowering that is. If you think about it, if you're going to just dive into your negative story and all the misery that is there for you, and especially if you're going to feel like this is happening to you, I mean, first of all, that's a sucky place to live, right? I mean, that just feels awful. And then the more you rehash it, the worse you feel. Second, you're likely to show up differently from that place in a way that gets you what you don't want, that makes it harder to get what you do want. It's self-sabotage. It is a self-fulfilling prophecy. So if I'm all distraught and frustrated and resentful and unhappy with how my partner is behaving, how am I going to show up with him or her, whoever my partner is, right? I'm likely to be more impatient. I'm likely to be judgmental. I'm likely to exude negativity. I'm likely to be withdrawn. I'm not going to be as warm. And what is that going to get me? That is not going to move me closer to the connection and the love that I want to experience with my partner. And how is my partner going to show up if that's what I am exuding, right? If I am telling myself a story, and not just that, but like doubling down on my story that it's your behavior that's the problem, you're going to pick that up if I'm not even saying it directly, right? And what I'm probably going to get is defensiveness or escalation or, conflict or tears or pushback or what about you, right? Like it's just so unproductive. It is the wrong road to take. Way more helpful is, first of all, to get yourself, first of all, understand that you're reacting to a story, to an interpretation, to something your brain has served you up. Not like it serves you, it doesn't work for you, but that your brain has presented to you, and have some skepticism about that. Be willing to challenge that. Be willing to see it as you have a model of the world in your brain, a way of interpreting, a way you have learned to interpret that isn't necessarily accurate. So how can we broaden that? How can we get a little bit more flexibility and more options in terms of how we are perceiving and experiencing the situation? Specifically, how can we get more of those options and new perspective in a way that feels good And the reason this is important is because if you feel better, if you're having better emotions, well, first of all, quality of life, right? It's going to feel better, which has got value on its own, but you're going to show up differently. If you are feeling good, if you are feeling loving, if you are feeling hopeful, if you're feeling connected, if you're feeling possibility and curiosity, you show up and behave differently. That can make something new happen. Your partner is going to respond to that differently. So much of this dance goes on with people, and we don't understand the role we're having, and maybe specifically the role our brain is having in creating this whole model and setting us up to sabotage ourselves. So I've just been thinking more and more and more about how important it is for me as a coach, as a therapist, to be clear about this, first of all, but also to help guide people out of these stories, to guide them up onto the balcony view to see what their brain is doing, and to invite them into a space that feels better, that feels more hopeful, that creates possibilities, that allows them to show up differently, that allows them to take action where they actually have control. You know, a phrase I've used forever, I got it actually from a professor in grad school: what's on your own side of the court? What's in your control? You can't control your partner. You can control how you feel. You can control how you show up. You can control how you see things. And that is going to set you up much better to get what you want and to actually reach the change and the transformation and the breakthrough that you're seeking. So as you're listening to this, I mean, I hope you hear it, see it if you're watching, as an invitation to challenge these stories, to see beyond them, to expand what is possible, to step into thoughts and feelings that serve you better, that feel better, that generate a better response from your partner, that can start a ball rolling towards what you want.